Afternoon all. Happy Wednesday to you. So Jo back again after a couple of weeks of leave. I hope everyone's had a nice couple of weeks enjoying this gorgeous weather. Been for an early run on the beach, which was lovely. So a little bit of Pilates now will be perfect after that run. Be lovely. So going to be a pretty chilled out session today. We're going to focus on engagement through our core, some lateral stability, rolling of the spine, so articulation of the spinal column. So it's going to be quite chilled out. It's going to be lots of stretch as well and just lots of mobilization. Nice chilled out session for this afternoon. So I hope everyone's feeling fit and well. As always, if anything doesn't feel good, either take an easier option or don't worry about it too much. I'm going to be talking a lot as we go through, so hopefully you can hear me okay. Is that Lizzie? Hi Lizzie. So hopefully you guys can hear, lots of Lizzies. Hi Liz. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And I'll be talking a lot about where I want your pelvis to be and where I want other parts of your body to be while we're performing each exercise. And I normally work it so that we do an active exercise and then a release stretch. So it'll be like work, rest. And we'll start with a little bit of standing mobilization as well. Okay, folks, so if you are ready, you just need enough room to be able to lie down and fully stretch out and to put your arms out in a T shape, hopefully, and just to be able to rotate from left to right side. Okay, let's go. Okay folks, so if you just pop yourself onto your mat or onto your bit of floor, wherever you're going to be working today, and let's just bring our feet into balance, so underneath your knees and your hips. So I like to have a little look down at those big toes. Check that the big toes are level so that we know we're standing nice and square, and draw a little imaginary line down from the center of this hip bone down through the center of your knee, down to about your second toe. So we want to look for that line up. Those feet are nice and square into the floor so you can feel equal weight from left to right side. And then I want you to start taking your attention up your body. Slight softness in your knees. As you draw up towards your pelvis, I want you to imagine you're tucking your tailbone. So it's like you're just bringing your tail underneath you. And a very gentle hold in the tummy. Thinking about opening the chest and letting the shoulders draw back and down. And then that little bit of imaginary string just on the crown of your head that's just pulling you up nice and tall there. So let's keep the body up lovely and tall and just sink that chin down. Take a breath or two with that nice low chin. And then let the head roll a little from left to right side. And then when you're ready, just bring your head back up in the center. Little tweak on that string and take a peek over to that right side. Come back through the center, little tweak on that string. Over you go to the left. And then come back to the center. Take your right ear down to your right shoulder and just let your left shoulder feel lovely and heavy. And then if you come on up and flop on left to left, right shoulder goes heavy. And then bring your head on back to center. Drop your chin one more time. And then if you place that head back up on top. So I want you to take a breath in, up above your head. And as you exhale, I want you to bring your arms into a little cactus. So it's like a little right angle shape. And just feel your shoulder blades drawing down your back. So inhaling up and then make that little cactus as you exhale. So draw the shoulder blades down your back. And again, if you inhale up. And then exhale those shoulder blades down. So I want you to feel like you're drawing them down towards your pelvis. And then one last time, so come on up. Exhale, draw those shoulder blades down. And then if you take the arms up And then into an aeroplane shape, you can pop those palms down. Now your pelvis, your hip bones are going to stay looking forward. They're not going to move. So we're just rotating to the right side, but only everything above your belly button is going to rotate. Come back to the center. Check your hip bones haven't followed you around, and just take a lovely easy rotation to the left. And then come back to the center and just relax those arms down. Take a lovely big inhale all the way up above your head, and then exhale your arms all the way back down to your side. Take your right fingertips, start to creep down towards your right knee. So as you're doing that, I want you to think about whether your pelvis is staying stable, whether perhaps your left hip is lifting up and following you. So I want you to keep that left hip down and square. Add a little bit more stretch if you'd like to. And then come back to center, and then take those left fingertips down. Keep an eye on your right hip so that it doesn't pop up to join you. And then a little bit more stretch if you would like to. And then I want you to make that a little bit more free and easy, and take a gentle tick-tock between each of those two stretches. So let it flow a little bit, but I still want you to keep that stability in your pelvis. So it's really everything through your trunk, everything above the pelvis line that is moving and rotating and flexing. So let's just do one more to either side. And then if you bring your arms into an aeroplane again, and this time I want you to roll your spine forwards. So if you imagine that you're using the spine from the base through the mid-spine to the top, you can let your head just sink, and then I want you to build up that big old stack of spinal column again. So I want you to roll forwards. So we're thinking about articulating through each vertebrae, and then just open back again. And if we just do that twice more, so we get the lovely opening of the back as we come forwards, and then we just squeeze the shoulder blades together to open the chest as we come back. And if you just do that one more time, bring it on back. Relax your arms down your side. Let's roll the spine all the way down. So if you drop your chin, let the head follow the chin, shoulders, upper back, mid-spine, lower back, and pause. Little shuffle through the arms, relax. And then bend your knees a bit more and start to work all the way back on up. Take a lovely big inhale up. And then exhale, roll down one more time. So take your time with it. So sometimes your body just needs that little bit of extra time to relax. Hamstrings particularly, and lower backs, they just need a little minute to be able to kind of get stock of what's going on and to relax into the move. And then rolling it back up again. So build that spinal stack all the way back up. Take a lovely big inhale to the top. Lovely. And then just exhale down. Beautiful. Okay, we're getting ready to go down onto our mat, folks. So we're going to start lying on our backs. And we're going to just take a little bit of time to find our neutral spine down on the mat. So if you pop yourself down, rolling yourself down into that mat. And let's just take a moment to think about the position of our spine and our pelvis when we put ourselves down on our backs. I want you to feel as though the front of your pelvis here is lovely and flat, and that we have got not a great arch under the spine, but just enough room that we could pop two little fingers either side, but they wouldn't meet in the middle. We can start to smudge them in there, but they're not going to meet in the middle. Pop your hands onto your hip bones. I want you to roll your pelvis back into the mat and feel your tailbone lift off the floor. You might feel the front of your thighs contract as well. And then I want you to exhale and just let your tailbone roll back down into the floor without letting this lower back arch up. So again, you're going to imprint that lower spine down into the mat by tilting the pelvis backwards, and then allow that spine to come all the way back down, but not over rolling so the lower back lifts away. Let's just do that one more time. So you're going to peel on up. You feel the tailbone lift. And then if you peel back down, I want you to just pause there in that lovely neutral spine. So we have a natural curve in the back. We're not allowing the back to pop up from the floor. And it's this neutral spine we're going to try and keep hold of as we start moving through these exercises. So we're going to start lovely and easy with a knee fold. Feel that contact with the lower back and the mat. Draw the belly button in towards the spine to help that feeling of security. Relax the arms by your sides. We're going to take one leg to a tabletop. So remembering that the tabletop is knee above hip, shin parallel to the floor. Tighten that belt as you draw up the second tabletop. First tabletop comes down without that lower back shifting away from the floor. Second tabletop comes down. Changing legs. So we come up with one, up with two. First one comes down. So you can hear my voice shake there as my tummy muscles are put under a lot more pressure, where my back would like to arch off the floor, but I'm not going to allow it to do that. So anyone who has quite a natural, exaggerated arch in their spine like I do, we're going to find anything where we're lying on the floor like this, that bit harder. You can always adapt this to working just the one leg at a time if you prefer. So all the time you're feeling the contact of your lower back through that mat, and you're keeping the tightness of your belly button to your spine. We'll do one more for either side. Just remember to keep breathing, so keep feeling that contact, lower back into mat. It's like your lower back is hugging the mat, giving it a little kiss. And then if you pause there, take your arms out if you've got enough room. And I just want you to let your knees rock a little bit from side to side. So you can let that lower back lift up now. So you're into your release stretch. Maybe you want to turn your head away from your legs. Lovely. So just let that lower back ease out. Oh, so nice. One more to either side. Make it a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Oh, lovely. And then you're going to come back to the center. Oh, it's so nice. And relax your arms down to your side. So moving up into shoulder bridge, I want you to creep your heels a little bit closer to your bottom. So we've got a little bit more leverage there. So creep those heels nice and close. But you've still got a little gap between those feet. I want you to start by imprinting that lower back into the floor. So you tip your pelvis backwards. The tailbone lifts, and we carry on with that feeling of rolling up the spine until we get to the top, where we're supported on the back of these shoulders here. Take a lovely big reach over with your arms. Can't quite fit my hand in. And then bring it back down. And then start to replace your vertebrae, just one at a time. So that's the key, is you're trying to feel each vertebrae as it lays back down into the floor. Watching that your pelvis doesn't over-roll, that lower back doesn't lift away. When you're ready to go again, off you go. So the shoulder bridge is an exercise of segmental control. So we're trying to use that spine, one segment or one vertebrae at a time. Give your bottom a little squeeze to help keep those hips lifted and those glutes engaged. feeling each vertebrae as it comes down. If your feet start to slip away at all, if you're not on a sticky mat, feel free to just readjust them, and let's go 2 more. I want you to feel like you're peeling each vertebrae one at a time. Lovely big reach on up. Coming all the way back down. And then lowering back down. So just one vertebrae at a time. Let's do that one more time. So peeling away from the floor, give your bottom a squeeze. Feel your glutes and your hamstrings also working nice and hard. All the way up. Come on down. Take your time as you relay your spine. So take your time with it. And then when you get to the bottom, I want you to hug those knees in. So let's release that lower back. Oh, take a lovely hug. Maybe put your hands over your shins and just exaggerate that nice rocking forwards and back. Maybe a little bit side to side as well, whatever feels good on that lower spine. Lovely. Okay, and then we're going to pop our feet back down flat on the floor. So we're going to put a little bit more pressure now on that lower tummy particularly with some toe taps. So again, you can use this exercise one leg at a time if having 2 legs lifted is a little bit heavy. So let's just reconnect that lower back with the floor. So your lower spine is just kissing that mat there. So you've got that contact, belly button draws through to the spine. So imagine you've got a big tight belt on. Both legs to tabletop if you're going to use both legs. Remember, you can use one at a time. So we've got that contact with the lower back and the mat. So even just with my legs in tabletop, if I poke my lower belly, I can feel that that's nice and tight. So just controlling the weight of these legs is having an effect on these lower tummy muscles. That feels nice and tight there. Relax through the shoulders and the chest. Inhale, breath. Exhale, one foot looks for the floor, may not touch the floor. As soon as you feel like your lower back wants to arch up and roll forward through the pelvis, that's your cue that you've gone far enough and you're going to come back to the top. See if you can synchronize the breathing. So you can hear my voice shake there. That's the extra pressure on those tummy muscles with my big arched spine. So remember, you can keep one leg on the floor if you prefer. And alternatively, if you've got a nice straight spine naturally, and anything lying on the floor is quite easy for you to do, you could try taking both legs down at the same time. As long as we don't roll out of neutral spine, then I'm happy. So that pelvis has to stay lovely and square. So we'll do 4 more of those. One more either side. Keep that breathing lovely and regular. So one more time. Beautiful. And then if you drop your knees to your chest, get into good habits and have that little release right and left. Beautiful. Okay. Pop your feet back down flat to that mat. I want you to take your feet a little bit closer to your bottom again and stick your knees together. Become an aeroplane and roll all the way over to the right side. Flop into the floor, head turns left. And just relax there for a moment. Take your left arm, draw a lovely big rainbow across your chest so that you can tap your right palm. Lovely big rainbow all the way back again. Take your time, flopping into the floor. And again, all the way through. Opening it back out again. And if you do that one more time, so that lovely heavy feeling as that left shoulder rolls back down to the floor, chest feels nice and open. And then if you squeeze your tummy, bring your knees back up to the top and then flop on over to the left. Head looks right, just relax a mo. Enjoy that lovely spine twist. Spine twists are my favourite. And then if you take that right hand, go ahead and draw that big semicircle over the top. Nice. All the way back out again. Lovely. And again, take it all the way over the top. Nice heavy feeling in the right shoulder as it flops on down to the floor. And then if we do one more of those, so over you go. Nice. And then let's come back all the way down. Floppy there. And then squeeze yourself back to the center. I want you to bring your knees into your chest. Find your fingertips. Take that little halfway lift so you can open up through the upper back. And then if you give yourself a little roll on up to the top. Nice. Okay, we're going to pop ourselves onto hands and knees. So I'm just going to change which way I'm facing on the mat. So I think that'll look a bit better. Okay, so go ahead and sit down onto your heels. Give that lower back a really good stretch. I like to have a little bit of a wiggle left to right. And really snug down in between those thighs. Let your forehead come onto the floor if that's comfortable. And then if you come on up onto all fours, just bring your knees underneath your hips and bring those wrists underneath elbows and shoulders. Remember, if your wrists don't like being in this position, lots of my wrists don't really love it, they can't do it for very long. You can always try doing a little monkey fist. It keeps your wrist in a much more stable, much stronger position, takes the pressure off a little bit, so see how that feels. So we're going to just think about taking our belly button and squeezing it up into our lower spine, and you're going to think about lifting this area here between your shoulder blades too. So let's take just your right hand and your left leg, just that one side. We're going to stretch away, ×4, and then thread needle to relax that wrist. Put your little tray of drinks across your back. They've been filled up right to the brim. I've only just got enough room here. And then as you draw your hand and your knee underneath you, I want you to squeeze them under, lovely and tight. So give a nice little squeeze on that knee. Keep drawing that belly button up into your spine. Keeping that neck in neutral. So try not to drop your head and try not to lift it in front. So we're just going to do one more of those. So one more of those. And then if you come back to the center, lift your left hand, release the pressure on that wrist by threading that needle all the way through. Little push back up to center. And then this time, once you've re-stabilized yourself, we're going to be going left hand and right leg only. So draw the belly button up again, lift through the upper spine, and let's stretch away. Tucking the knee nice and tight underneath you before you start your next extension. Bringing it all the way under. So 2 more of those, take your time with it. Oh, nice crunch in my left shoulder there. Let's do one more. Oh, there it goes again. Oh, it's horrid. So come on under. replace, and then we're going to take that right hand, take the pressure off the wrist, thread needle under you go. And then a little push on up to center. Balance yourself out. And we're just going to roll up through cat and cow. So if you tuck your pelvis underneath you, arch up through your spine, drop your head. And then let that spine roll as the pelvis tips. The shoulder blades come up, as does the head. Let's just do that one more time either way. So roll on through. And then again, tip forwards. Oh, head comes up, lovely articulation through the spine. Let's come back up to a lovely neutral spine. So I want you to come into neutral spine, nice and flat. And then sit your weight back onto your heels again. Lovely big stretch forward. So really big child's pose here. Try and walk right out into those fingertips. Head can come down. Take your right hand back to your feet and your left hand back to your feet. Let your shoulders go super floppy. And then start to roll your way up. So starting to uncurl there. You're restacking your spine, one section on top of the other. So we're going to come back to standing to finish, so that we can roll our spine back up. So if you pop your fingertips down onto the floor, come onto the balls of your feet, have a little walk back, and then let's take our time rebuilding that spine. So the heels start to find the floor and the tailbone starts to extend. Don't worry if you need to keep these knees bent, I do. Relax your head and then start to bend through the knees a little bit. Roll on up through the spine. Take a really big inhale up. And then exhale all the way down. Do that one more time. So come on up. Lovely. And then exhale down. And then again, I want you to take your right hand up to the top and find that lengthening over to that left hand side. And then that nice tick-tock like we did at the beginning. So just flexing the spine in either direction, flexing the trunk. Nice. Let's do one more to either side. So lovely and free. One more time. Lovely. And come back to the center, bring those arms down. Take the arms up above your head. Make the cactus shape. I'll just come to face straight forward so you can see me guys a bit better. Cactus, so draw the shoulder blades down again. Inhale up, cactus down. Draw the shoulder blades, come on up. Arms can come all the way down into your sides this time. And let's take a last big inhale to the top. Hands together, as I always like to finish. Down they go in front, relax your shoulders. Give yourselves a little bow. Finishing our practice for this Wednesday lunchtime. So I hope you guys enjoyed. My back feels better after that, after a little run on the beach this morning. Any questions, do please feel free to leave a comment, and I can always get back in touch with you guys by email for some more detailed information. But oh, hi John, hi Matt, hi guys. And I miss you guys, and I hope to see you really soon. Fingers crossed. Take care, folks. I will see you soon. Electra, hi. See you later, guys.